Am I the arsehole? For refusing to give a reward for my son even though my daughter got one. I know why he isn't doing well, he has admitted to not studying. This is bothering me, so I am going to post it here. We have a reward system. If you get all A's you get to go out and have dinner at a place of your choosing or get cash. Personally we do it every 2 months since the report cards for the young come out. I have 3 kids in total. Youngest got a report card, so I checked the grades for the 2 kids in high school. My oldest has all A's so she can pick where she wants dinner, or $30 so she can go out with 2 friends. My son didn't, it was B's and a C. So no reward and me asking if he needs help in math. This caused a huge argument with him, me giving my daughter a reward but not him. My ex is now involved, saying he should get a reward since his classes are harder. That doesn't really fly though, since my daughter is taking some college classes and he is a freshman taking the honor classes. Following the rules fairly does not by itself an R make, no. But there is an argument to be had that this system in itself might be bad and unfair. You're the asshole. What's your endgame here? For perfection in academia? Or to inadvertently feed into this competition while stirring up resentment? Remember, grades don't give you the full story on someone's aptitude, efforts and circumstances. Not the asshole. After reading your comments, it seems like your son is just a naturally bright kid who hits the wall of what he can coast on. It's tough but better now than in college. Just keep encouraging good study habits, maybe offer to try out some different ones with him. If you want to offer him an incentive to improve, that wouldn't be the worst thing, but don't give him a reward for not studying and still managing to get B's. You're the arsehole. Reward system is fine if done as a tier system. My grandma gave me $5 for every A, $3 for B, nothing for C and minus money if I got D's or F's. So everyone gets a little something. Not to mention, you don't know if your son has dyslexia or a learning disorder, so you could be punishing him for something he can't even help. Lol. What exactly does he think that he should be rewarded for? Not the asshole. If he wants the reward, he should get better grades and meet the criteria. Info. Maybe you're the asshole, depending on a few things. Has the eldest always been getting A's, or did you see an improvement when you started the system? Similarly, did your son used to get worse grades? Maybe the reward should be an improvement, and maintaining that level, rather than just A's. If I was a child who was struggling to improve their grades, after all, some kids are just smarter, find school easier, etc., I'd be frustrated if the only reward was for A's when I feel like I literally can't get A's, when my sibling finds it easy. Not the asshole. Rewards for achieving top marks isn't an asshole thing. Not giving someone something because they didn't meet the achieved goal also isn't an asshole move. Not the asshole. This seems a perfectly straightforward and fair system. X can keep her nose out. To a bit, but not for your question. The system you've set up is the problem. Grades shouldn't be rewarded like that. The kids that get A's may or may not be working as hard as the kids who get C's, and for the lower grade kid, seeing that effort go unrecognized is incredibly demoralizing. You're the asshole. Not all kids can get A's. Doesn't mean they are not trying hard to get good grades. Both my kids work hard. One is always straight A's, one isn't, but they both work to the best of their abilities, just one finds it easy, one doesn't. I'm obviously very proud of my kid who gets the A's. I'm also very proud of the one who doesn't, as I know the effort he puts in but finds it. More attention to your kids and stop playing them off against each other. Not the asshole. The system is simple and well known in advance. Kid is just grouchy that they didn't get a fancy dinner even though they didn't earn one per the rules. You even inquired if extra assistance is needed. Don't give in. I think you're Natar. He clearly was able to maintain as before, as him not studying is the issue. I read a couple of the white tears that paint your reward system as some sort of deliberate punishment, but for him to be this upset, this was probably the first time he missed out. I would think of this as being constructive criticism rather than a punishment. Maybe he needs to make some more time for studying, or he can get a job and get his own pocket money. Not the asshole. I don't understand the other judgments. Guessed everyone missed the he admitted he doesn't study part. Why should we reward no effort? That breeds entitlement. $30. Ha 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 ha. His grades are still really good, he's taking honors classes. You should have rankings of rewards. As gets this, B's get this slightly not as cool thing. You're only causing resentment and loss of motivation. Not the asshole. The rules were well established and by time they're in HS they should know what your expectations are. Mild. You're the asshole. Look, I get this system is popular with parents, but there are a lot of reasons why it might be unfair. Different academic ability, classes, etc. I found school easy and got straight A's without much effort. I had a sibling who worked way harder than me, but this wasn't always reflected in their grades. Ideally you would set up a system that rewards effort improvement over specific grades. If the rewards end up creating resentment, instead look at improvement in grades or consistency of effort that can be rewarded. Your daughter may be smart academically whereas your other children may be gifted in sports or music. Maybe you need to think the reward system over. Really, if your daughter is smart, she will be rewarded with a scholarship. You rewarding her for it will make your son feel less. He won't try, because he doesn't feel smart enough. Then when she gets scholarships, he will deem her the golden child and never expect much from himself. Help him instead of antagonizing him. AITA. Without more info I have to go with you're the asshole. The attitude that every kid can just get an A in every subject if they just try hard enough is just not true. It completely discounts so many things, it's ridiculous and shows you know very little about education. Some kids excel in specific areas and struggle greatly in others. Just try harder or not trying hard enough is not always the answer and is about as smart as telling a kid with asthma, well, if you just try harder you'll be able to breathe better. You're the asshole for rewarding A's. You should be rewarding the effort put in. People are different. Person 1 can get straight A's without any effort. Person 2 can work his ass off and only get B's or C's. If your daughter worked her ass off for her A's, she deserves her rewards. If your son also worked hard, he also deserves the reward. Look at what they put in, don't judge on the result. Not the asshole. Stick to your guns. My parents did the same thing with my sister and I way back. He did not meet the requirements, so no dinner or dollars. Punish him until he studies. Beatings will continue until morale improves. Maybe he doesn't actually know how to study or has something like anxiety about not being as special as his sister, keeping him from focus. He doesn't study doesn't define what's happening, you know. It's an observation on your part with no underlying understanding of why. If your reward system doesn't account for level of difficulty, you are inadvertently telling your son to take less challenging courses that will help him in the future for a reward today. 30 for A's, 20 for B's, 10 for C's, nothing for D's. Incentive system opposed to reward. You're the asshole for having such a reward system. I can't imagine the tension that creates in your household. He still did a lot better than a lot of people. Perhaps a smaller reward instead of nothing? Just because he didn't achieve a perfect score, does not mean he didn't achieve. And you just taught him that those achievements meant nothing to you. My dad constantly demeaned any achievement of mine and I spent a long time depressed and basically gave up trying. Eventually I found my own way. As others have said, you're not the asshole for following the rules you set. You're the asshole for the rules you set. In my opinion. My parents had a similar system, except it was based on how both me and my brother did individually at school. For example, I was always better at studying and focus, so I got a reward for A's and B's. My brother had lots of trouble focusing and studying, so he got a reward for B's and C's. It motivated us to stay focused and try our best, but it didn't put us in competition with each other or make either of us feel bad. Just BC, I was naturally able to focus better. Just something I think you should consider. Am I the asshole? For telling my brother I won't attend his wedding unless he lets our sister attend? Hi, this has been playing on my mind a bit, and I'd just like some relatively unbiased opinions. My older brother is getting married in December. Last minute thing, I'm very happy for him. My twin sister has just had her first baby, and as such is breastfeeding. Baby will still be 100 breastfed if all goes to plan by the time the wedding happens. My brother and soon-to-be wife doesn't want any kids under 10 at the wedding, but the bride's sister's infant is allowed to attend. We assumed my sister would be allowed, too, so didn't really question it. The babies are the same age. Last week my brother corrected us and said our nephew wasn't invited. He didn't specify past that for a bit, but later did reveal that it's because they don't want her breastfeeding and attracting attention. My sister doesn't think she can attend, and so he said that was fine, they wouldn't account for her. She got really upset, later blamed it on hormones, but she's always looked up to him, so I think it meant more to her that she's saying. So, basically, she is no longer invited to the wedding. I later on informed my brother that he could take me off the invited list, too, because I wouldn't be attending without my sister and nephew. Word got out among our family, and 2 younger siblings have also decided they aren't going now. It's created a bit of a situation, as you can probably imagine. Our brother is pissed as all hell. He's calling me and telling me I've ruined his big day, begged me to speak to the younger 2, asked me to attend, etc. I've always been firm in my no. Our parents stepped in and are doing the whole "you need to support your brother, blah blah." No one, besides the 3 siblings who also aren't attending, are on my side. I was thinking it was because my brother is just the favorite oldest, golden child, but now I'm wondering if I was seriously out of line. Am I the asshole? Was I a royal asshole, or was it deserved? Not the asshole. It's not fair her sister's baby is welcome and your sister's baby isn't. And does your brother really think she will be nursing at the dinner table? Most moms don't even want to nurse in public. I can imagine the accommodation will be more than happy to find her a quiet room to nurse her baby. Not the asshole, you need to support your brother. And they need to support their daughter. Arrange dinner with sister siblings on brother's wedding day instead. Not the asshole. If there's going to be another baby that's the same age there and his hang-up is checks notes his sister feeding her child. It's not 1955 anymore, that's what boobs are for, he's the one being weird about it. Not the asshole. He is letting a baby of the same age and equivalent relationship to one of them attend. At that age, all children are unpredictable, so the excuse that one baby will be quiet and peaceful during the ceremony and the other won't doesn't apply. They are willing to make an exception for the bride's sister, but not the groom's. He can't accuse you of ruining his wedding because the siblings didn't make their decision because of you. They made their decision because they agreed with you and found the bride and groom's behavior unfair. You made a decision that concerns you and gave your reasons. That doesn't make you you're free not to want to go to his wedding if you don't feel like it. You are not responsible of the consequences of their actions. Not the asshole. Hope the baby from the bride's family spits up on the bride and groom. Not the asshole. He can choose to invite you, your other siblings. You can choose to decline the invite. Just like he can choose to not invite your other sister. Strong. Not the asshole. He has decided to allow a baby of the same age and with an equivalent relationship to one of them to be present. Given the age, all children can be unpredictable, so the argument that one baby will remain calm and peaceful during the ceremony while the other won't doesn't hold. They are open to making an exception for the bride's sister but not for the groom's. Not the asshole. It's your right and I respect your reasoning. And you have to support your brother. What about you have to support your sister? Not the asshole. You are standing up for your family. Why should the bride's family get to bring an infant? She can go to a side room to breastfeed. With all the commotion at the reception, this would be much easier on the child. With that young of an infant they would not be staying very late. So what, the kid gets fed twice, brother is an R. Not the asshole. He and his fiancée have ruined their wedding. What do they honestly think your sister is going to do? Lob a boob out and suckle her child on every wedding photo? I can't believe your parents are supporting this behavior. Not the asshole. They want double standards to show how much less you think your sister is when compared to the bride's family. If your brother does not fight for his family, then he doesn't get to have some of them attend as well. Keep up the supporting your sister. But later did reveal that it's because they don't want her breastfeeding and attracting attention. I only read to this point. Air his dirty laundry to the whole family and in-laws. Shun him. Not the asshole. Edit seems like that already happened. Wow, your parents are real are. Not the asshole at all. With luck the other baby will scream all through the ceremony. Not the asshole. Nursing at events like that is best done in a separate room anyway, because a lot of babies get distracted too much and forget to drink properly. There is absolutely no reason for one baby to be allowed to attend and not the other. That's ridiculous. I'm glad you're standing with your sister. She needs the support. Your brother is the R. Why should his sister-in-law's baby be allowed to come, but his own sister's isn't allowed? If breastfeeding is an issue, then he can make an arrangement with her to only do it in private. I'm sure she'd agree. But the fact that he just cut her child off and didn't seem to care whether or not she came, when she's his own sister, makes him an R. And you are 100 right for standing up for your sister, and I'm glad to hear the other relatives are joining in. The only one who ruined your brother's big day is himself, by being an R. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You didn't give him an ultimatum or anything, you just told him you won't be attending and why. He doesn't have to invite anybody he doesn't want to invite to the wedding, but at the same time no one is obligated to show up. Not the asshole. You're calling him out on his double standard. Not R. So her sister is allowed with her infant, but his doesn't? Yeah, bye-bye, and don't even think about a gift. Not the asshole. Your brother and his fiancée are disrespecting your entire family by allowing her family to do what they are denying your family to do. Don't understand why your parents don't see that. Why is her family more important than yours? Ask parents to explain that to you. They could always set aside a small room for your sister to breastfeed in. Oh wait. Is your sister a single mum? Could this be the real reason bridegroom doesn't want her there? You need to support your brother. I need to support my sister, too, and she has a baby to look after, so that trumps my brother. Normally I'd say you were in the wrong, but the fact that the bride's sister is allowed to attend with her child makes your brother TA. Stick to your guns, tell him he's the one with the power to get you there. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's disrespectful to invite his sister-in-law with a baby but not his own sister. Totally fine to not attend and choose your sister's side. If he just had asked her to feed in private, I am sure she would have done so without fuss. Your bro is a R. Not the asshole. Do they think she is going to rip her dress off on the middle of the dance floor and breastfeed while waving her arms around? If the bride's sister's baby is welcome, it isn't a rule about babies. It is specifically targeting your sister, and your brother should be ashamed of himself. Not the asshole. Your brother is being an R. Not R. He's letting a baby of the same age and developmental level be there. Stand firm. Not the asshole. This is such blatant and unforgivable double standards exercised by your brother, his bride, and supported by your parents. If anyone is ruining the occasion, it's the bride and groom with their ridiculous decision. Fear not, you and the other two are not the only ones disgusted by this distasteful state of affairs. Once word spreads, you'll find others agree with you. Please stand your ground, for the sake of your sister and nephew. I foresee a troubled marriage. Not the asshole.
He turned out great. Not the asshole.
Am I the asshole? For not giving my husband's sister my puppy. I and my husband went to his sister's 13th birthday party this weekend. She decided she wanted to have her birthday party at a local river we live in the Midwest. My husband and I just got a puppy a few days ago and thought it would be fun to bring her to see if she liked the water, let everyone see her for the first time, etc. When we got there, everyone was super excited to see that we brought a puppy. Everyone was petting her and playing with her. My Mill asked me if the puppy was for my Sil. I said no, that this was my husband and I's puppy. She knew that we had just gotten a new puppy. She held the puppy for a bit and gave her back and all seemed fine. My Sil started opening her gifts when she finally noticed the puppy in my arms and asked me if Mill had finally let her get a puppy for her 13th birthday. Before I could even say anything, Mill said yes. Sil bursted into tears about finally having a puppy and then came over to me and tried to take the puppy. I was in shock at what just happened and kinda just let her take the puppy out of my hands. Eventually I went over to my Mill and asked her WTF she was thinking. She told me that my Sil had been asking for a puppy for years, and she said, "You don't mind, do you?" I was taken aback. I couldn't believe my Mill just gave away my puppy without even asking me. I took my Sil over to the side and told her that the puppy was mine and I wanted her back. She started throwing a fit and literally screaming. I just took the puppy back and my husband and I left. When we got back home, I was bombarded with texts and phone calls from everyone at the party asking me why I took the puppy away from Sil. My Sil and Mill are very angry with me, and I just need to know, am I the asshole? Edit. Her birthday party was at the river. Many people had brought their dogs to the party. I also did not know she had been asking Mill for a puppy. They have 2 dogs. Edit. To my husband is 100 on my side. We both didn't want to make a scene about it. He has called his mom and texted his family since the incident. We aren't communicating to anyone about it right now because it has been overwhelming. He had told his mom about us getting a new puppy multiple times, even invited the family over to our house for dinner so they could also meet the puppy, but they had a football game to go to. This was 2 days before her party. Not the asshole. Mill is the instigator of this whole scenario. She had no right to presume she could take your puppy and give it away to Sil, especially when Mill knew full well it was yours. I would make the situation clear to anybody who dares to ask you what happened. Not the asshole who just tells someone else they can have someone's pet. That's weird, and the kid is 13 and old enough to know she can't have everything. Your Mill sucks and I wouldn't feel bad at all. It's your dog. Obviously not the asshole. TA is your Mill. She created the situation, she should be cleaning it up. Want to make amends? Your Sil? Tell her you'll give her a puppy, but not yours. And further, explain to her that the puppy you have was never meant to be a gift for her, that her own mother created all of that drama. X200B. Sheesh, what a poor excuse for a mom, Mill. Not the asshole. Your Mill literally stole your dog out of your hands. You retrieved it and left. I'd explain that to everyone who texts. And no, it's not your responsibility to play along with your Mill's lies. She can get a different puppy for her child. Not the asshole. It's your dog. What were they thinking? Not the asshole, but why didn't you shut her down when she said it and not let Sil think it was hers? Not the asshole. That is some weird shit. What was Mill thinking? How is this even a questions? She can go get a puppy elsewhere. Not the asshole. Tell everyone who wants to know that your Mill blindsided you and blatantly lied. Who the hell does something like that? Your husband also should be having a conversation with his mother about boundaries from the sounds of it. What an awful situation to put you in. Not the asshole, but your Mill sure is. She set her daughter up for upset and disappointment, let her pick up the pieces. Not the asshole. Where was your husband in all this? He needed to take control of his mom and handle this. Your Mill is a total R. Not the asshole. ESH. You should have said, no, this is our new puppy. You should have never handed over your puppy, which is why you get an A. That automatically made it look like it was for her. Mill is for so many reasons. Where is your husband in all this? You don't know if you're right or not for not being manipulated and guilted into giving something that belongs to you to someone else? Really? Can't you correct all the people who bombarded you? Not the asshole. That poor kid, too. Your Mill was willing to traumatize her own child just to pull a power play on you. WTF? And not the asshole. If she wants your baby house, car, jewelry, will Mill want you to give that to her too? Yeesh, that's weird. I was in shock at what just happened and kinda just let her take the puppy out of my hands. Not the asshole. This is where you made the huge mistake. You should have said, I don't know what your mom is talking about, this is husband and my dog. I mean, no, not the asshole. But how did Sil go the whole party until it was time for presents to notice your puppy and then ask if it was for her? Not the asshole. Whoever stirs the shit should lick the spoon. All you needed to do was say no, not this puppy, Nana has a puppy for you at home. Then she can deal with the fallout. Not the asshole. Your Mill is a real pile of merd. I do have some empathy for your Sil because she probably doesn't realize what a horrible, lying biatch her mom is, or how emotionally manipulative her mom can be. Your Mill tried to steal your puppy. If she wants her daughter to have a puppy, they should go to the pound and pick out a puppy, not steal yours. Do apologize to your Sil and family, saying I'm so sorry that Mill lied about us giving you her the puppy. She knew it was our puppy and I specifically told her that it wasn't your gift. I don't understand why Mill did such an often very mean thing. Not the asshole. In-laws can't dog sit, can't come over unless you or your so is there and take back any spare keys. Mill's behavior was disgusting and I wouldn't put it past her to try something like taking the puppy and making you the bad guy again when you have to take it back from a 13-year-old. We just got a puppy about a month ago, and I would already either take a bullet for her or wipe out a whole fucking family that tried to take her. Either way, she's already a core member of our family and Mill can fuck right off. Tell everyone that Mill lied. Just tell them all the truth. Starting with Sil. You did nothing wrong. Make sure people know it. Make sure they know that Mill was told the puppy was not a present and was yours. Not the asshole, but we're also going to need puppy tax. Not the asshole. That's nuts. You told her it was your puppy. If she wanted her to have one, then say yes, but not theirs. I'm taking you to choose your own. Mother-in-law definitely sabotaged you. I guess we can deduce what kind of person she is. Not the asshole. And well done for not just slapping her, because if someone gave away my pet and had the audacity to say you don't mind, do you? I'd have been arrested. I also would have just loudly asked why Mill was too cheap to get her daughter her own dog instead of trying to steal mine. Not the asshole. Your Mill sounds like Ed Ursley. Info: is your puppy fully vaccinated? Was introducing your Sil to your new puppy at her birthday a good idea? No, it was not. This doesn't make you an R though. You know what does make someone an R? Promising someone else's pet to their daughter, and just assuming everyone will go along with it like it is an okay and normal thing to do. Not the asshole. Your Mill definitely is though. I would throw her under the bus. I'm sorry your mother promised you something that wasn't hers to give. I love my puppy and cannot give him up, but your mother is free to adopt a dog and bring it into a loving home if she wants to. You are definitely not the asshole. It's your puppy. Tell your mother-in-law you are gonna give away her daughter, since you have some friends trying to adopt a teen. You don't mind, do you? Not the asshole. WTF is wrong with her? Go no contact. Defined not the asshole, but I cringed when you brought a new puppy to a 13-year-old's b-day. Of course she was going to think it was a present for her. Mill was the real Arto who does that, especially after you told her directly it wasn't a present.
Am I the asshole? for agreeing with the school when they dress-coded my daughter and not fighting it. This is about my youngest. I would like to start off saying the dress code is very reasonable. The rule is don't see undergarments, and this affects the guys more than the girl. The pants not being held up boxers or seen thing. I have 3 kids and the older 2 have never been dress-coded. Now my daughter came home and she was in her gym clothes since she got dress-coded. It came with a school email and a picture of the shirt. They took the picture after my daughter changed and it was a swim top cover-up. It's sheer. This makes complete sense to me why she was dress-coded. She got a warning and that was that. Now my daughter and oldest daughter are pissed that I didn't stick up for her. My sister is now on my ass since the kids told her and they all think I am a jerk. So outside opinions on this. Not the asshole. Underwear covered is a totally reasonable dress code and there's not really anything to fight here. She broke the rule. She was told, hey, don't do that. Parents alerted and asked to change clothes. All very appropriate and even-handed responses. Not the asshole. I don't see anything to fight here. The rules aren't unreasonable. Your daughter wasn't wrongly accused of breaking them. And the punishment isn't going to have any long-term consequences on her education or well-being. You're not being a jerk. You're being a parent. Not the asshole. Sheer clothes aren't acceptable at school. Whilst as a parent, you have to have your kids back. That sometimes means telling why they are wrong. Blindly going along with their choices will lead to them having a very hard time in adult life and managing relationships. Your sister really isn't helping either. Does she have kids? Not the asshole. Kids need to learn what type of clothes are appropriate for each situation. Like it or not, we still live in a society where your value is judged by appearance. Especially professionally. And kids need to be taught that you can't just wear whatever you want to every situation and event. So your daughter went to school wearing a sheer top with bra clearly visible through it. And is upset that she was asked to change? Dress codes are notorious for applying double standards to girls. Gotta watch out for all those naked shoulders and knees distracting the boys. Don't you know? But in this case, the dress code is reasonable and not stupidly sexist. Wear opaque clothing is not an unreasonable rule. Not the asshole. NTA. A sheer top at school? No, not right. Great, she's confident in herself and happy to show it off, but there is time and places to wear that. Even in collage work restraints that would cause you issues. Talk to them and be honest. It's not about what they wore, it's the place they wore it. School have dress codes and you need to follow it, as long as boy-girls are all treated the same for breaking the dress codes, then that's that. Info. What exactly did they want you to stick up for? Her right to ignore the dress code? Not the asshole. I wouldn't fight the school on this one. Even if I did think it was right. This is one of those times my parents would be like, yeah, it's stupid, but I have to go to work tomorrow instead of fighting your school. It's not exactly a hunger strike moment for us. Not the asshole. It's not unreasonable for a school to not want to see undergarments. Your daughter wore a sheer swim top cover-up and got coded. Plain and simple. Nothing to fight against. I don't see what's there to stand up for here. Fight for the right for students to wear see-through clothing? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Too many parents are quick to defend their kids. No matter what. As humans, we have to learn that there are sometimes rules that we don't agree with, but have to follow. In my opinion, backing the school in this situation makes you a good parent. Not the asshole. Wrong is wrong. To blindly stick up for her when she is wrong teaches a bad lesson. I can go out in the world, flaunt the rules, and my family will back me. This is precisely why we are losing educators left and right. Not the asshole. I did argue a dress code violation for one child when I believed the teacher was being overly picky. The administration agreed with me. But basically we all know the dress code. My children have enough approved clothing to wear to school every week. If they decide to wear something that isn't within code, that is for them to deal with. I fucking hate dress codes as they are almost always sexist and or racist, but the one of the few rules I'm on board with is not seeing underwear. It's also not like it was just a bra strap, so not the asshole. Your sister is tough for getting in the way of your parenting. Time to have a talk with her. Info: why do they feel you should have stuck up for her? Do they feel she either didn't violate the rule, that the rule is being interpreted and applied unfairly, unequally, or that the rule itself is flawed? Info: why did she wear under the see-through shirt? Was it her bra or did she have a tank top on? Not the asshole as a woman who has severe issues with dress codes and how they often target young girls and give them lifelong body image issues. I was ready to bring the hammer down on you. But sheer? In gym? No. Just no. I don't know why your sister thinks that's appropriate. But it's not. Dress coding is BS unless it's about safety. Like, no Samantha. You can't wear flip-flops to shop class. 'Cause when you drop a piece of wood and shatter your toenail, we don't want to be responsible. Or sneakers to gym. Like, you need athletic footwear, not sandals tied with hemp. Knee hat will disintegrate in the wrong humidity. Not the asshole. The rules aren't unfair or unreasonable. Why do your daughters and your sister expect you to back your daughter when she was punished for disobeying a rule she knows very well? Actions have consequences. And the world has dress codes. Your kids need to get used to that. Maybe talk to your sister first. Find out what exactly your daughters told her. And explain the actual situation. Let's see if that doesn't change her tune. Info: did you have a conversation about why she thought wearing this would be within the rules? From what you describe, this doesn't sound like a situation where you're the asshole. But the fact that your older daughter also agrees that you're in the wrong here suggests there may be more going on. Like, is this a common way of dressing at the school and your daughter is the only one who's been flagged? I wish we had a no underwear showing rule in real life. Not the asshole. Your daughter was dressed inappropriately for school and needs to know that there are times she has to follow rules that she may not agree with. Not the asshole. It's the rule and probably, unlike many school rules, a reasonable one. I'm not understanding your other daughter's point about standing up for her. The school rule seems pretty unambiguous. Edit wording. Not the asshole. I'm the first person to typically defend dress code rules, as I believe they often villainize young girls and serve to shame them about their bodies early on. However, it is completely reasonable to ask students not to have undergarments showing. Not the asshole. Look, children these days think any rules are unfair. It may have always been the case that people didn't like them. But Reddit has taught me it's even worse these days. She was wearing a damn swimsuit cover-up at school. That isn't appropriate. If it was a single bra strap I'd throw hands, but a sheer shirt? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. There are some places in which you have to adhere to a dress code. School is one of those places and the code appears to be reasonable. Not the asshole, and as a teacher, I wish more parents were like you. Not the asshole. You're the parent. Don't let people bully you for parenting. Am I the asshole? For putting my niece in the same room as my daughter even though we had a spare? On a throwaway. I and my BF have 3 kids. Aged 3. Triplets. When we moved into the house it has 4 bedrooms, we have 1. Our daughter has 1. And the boys share. And then a playroom for their toys. When they're older, one of the boys will move to the playroom, but they're still little. And I've read little kids should sleep in a calm, minimal room with toys separate for better sleep. So we're doing that for now. My brother has a daughter, Lucy. He and his wife married 2 years ago but weren't able to go on a honeymoon because Lucy was only a month old at the time. So they postponed it and things happened. So they're going now for their anniversary. They left yesterday for a week and I'm watching Lucy. They left in a hurry for their plane. So I took her things and unpacked. I put her in my daughter's room. It's a bit cramped but for a week it'll do and they don't spend all day in there anyway. We FaceTimed that night, right before her bedtime. I told them Lucy was sleeping with my daughter. And they didn't say anything to that except they wanted to call after everyone was in bed. So we called again. And they asked why Lucy had to share a room when they know the playroom is fine. I told them the playroom was very messy, my fault, and it was so cluttered and bright that Lucy might have trouble going to sleep. And my daughter still had room while the playroom would have to be emptied a bit to fit all her things. Edit equipment was not good wording. But they demanded I move her tomorrow. And I should have known their daughter deserved to be by herself since she is at home. So today while everyone was at preschool playgroup I set up her things in there. But I'm wondering if it really was a super bad thing to do. I didn't think it would matter, since they never told me she was to be by herself. But again, they probably assumed. I don't know if I did something terrible because they were acting like it was. Or if they're overreacting. They've texted every couple hours now to make sure I'm not forgetting things and they've never done that before when I watched her in the past. So maybe they don't trust me anymore? IDK. Am I the asshole? Before anyone asks. I don't want to get my BF involved because he's stressed enough with school and work. Not the asshole, and I wouldn't have moved her. She's only 2 and sharing a bedroom with a cousin is an adventure. Especially if it's an older cousin. Not the asshole. What is wrong with a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old sleeping in the same room? Your brother and his wife have some nerve insisting that you modify perfectly sensible rooming arrangements. Not the asshole. The entitlement. Though there's another Reddit space. I don't remember the name, but something like beggars who are choosers. You should definitely post this there as well. They demand? Don't volunteer again. Gosh, she's only 2 years old. Not the asshole, she's 2 years old. She doesn't need her own room. Also, she's away from her parents and shouldn't be isolated for the happenings in your home. She'll do fine rooming with a big sister. The child you should be concerned about is your daughter. How did she react to having her cousin sleeping in the same room? Not the asshole. These people are extremely entitled and you should never babysit for them again. Don't be such a pushover. They're getting free childcare during their belated honeymoon. And they're complaining about their toddler daughter sharing a room? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. X200B. Tell them if they don't like your decision. They can show up and pick her up right now. Not the asshole. Why did you let them bully you like that? You are doing them a favor, grow a spine and tell people to shut up. They can't demand that you watch their child. Then tell you how. I would have told them to send their backup plan to pick her up. It's a week and they're getting free babysitting. Not the asshole. They're so entitled to their free babysitter. Your own boys share a room. Why did they think the girls wouldn't? Her situation at home has nothing to do with that at your place. Not the asshole. You should have told them to rush home from their honeymoon if their daughter needed her own room. You were silly to agree to clear out the playroom for her. She should share the actual bedroom. What in the world? With 3 little ones of your own, you are allowed to do whatever is necessary to make sure that everyone is happy, healthy and fed. Not sleeping like a spoiled princess in their own little castle. I feel sorry for the child. Missing out on real-world connections for fantasy land. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, she is staying in your home. You get to decide where guests sleep. On a complete side, this gives me renewed hope for our future. To have triplets at 19 and 21 years old and to be providing a wonderful home for them. Be as mature and thoughtful as you, a refreshing story to read. And no, you are not the asshole. Your brother should be thanking his lucky stars that he has you to help out. Not the asshole. They ain't being idiots. You are doing them a favor. They can STF you. Sharing a room with a cousin for an adventure holiday is part of the excitement. She doesn't need her own room. You have 4 kids to manage, they only deal with one. It's easier and better for you and for her to be with your daughter. Tell them if they have an issue with it, they are free to come back and pick her up. The playroom is a playroom. And you won't split your time checking in 3 bedrooms. She's been fine so far, so that's enough. They are similar age, she isn't sleeping in there with a 10 years old. Not the asshole, you are looking after her for a week, not a year. You might have made a mistake letting them get away with it. Not the asshole. Also, info, how much equipment does this 2-yo kid have? Not the asshole, how ridiculous. It's nicer for them to have company. She will miss her parents, but she has her cousin with her. Not the asshole. You provided your niece with a safe, comfortable place to sleep. There is nothing wrong with a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old sharing a room for a few days. For what it's worth, some of my favorite memories from my childhood were the cousin sleepovers. And whenever my nieces stay the night, they always want to bunk up in one bedroom with my daughters. 2 of the girls share the full-sized bed and the other 2 are in sleeping bags on the floor. They love being together. The daughter is 2 years old and in a strange house without her parents. Unless she's very unusual, I'd think she would greatly prefer sharing a room with her cousin than being alone in the night. The parents are just freaked out because they've never been away from her. I assume. Not the asshole. Good grief, I can't believe you caved on that ridiculous request. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Niece is staying for a week. Not moving in long term. Sharing a room with her cousin is fine. I would text them the following: niece seems to be happy spending time with her cousins. If you are genuinely worried about niece's welfare, please come home immediately to collect her. Otherwise, stop micromanaging. Enjoy your holiday and we will see you at the end of the week. Your brother and Sil might just be finding it much harder than they expected to be away from their baby behind for a week rather than they don't trust you. They are being annoying, but they are not rushing home either. I would try not to take it personally. Not the asshole and definitely overreacting. Kids love sharing rooms, beds. At least when it's temporary. You are doing them a favor, so they should just shut up or come back from their honeymoon at take their daughter. I don't know either where you found this idea about the toys, but my daughter always slept everywhere, including her room where her toys were, without any issue, and I never heard about that before. The room colors I can understand, but having an issue with the toys in the room seems strange to me.
Am I the asshole for telling my Sil exactly what having a big family would mean for her? My husband and I have 6 kids, 3 are biologically ours, 8F, and twin 6M, and 3 are adopted siblings, 10M, 7M and 3F. We make a high 6-figure income combined, and are debt-free, as well as owning our house outright. Relevant. My husband and his brother were raised by very neglectful parents, and used to talk all the time about having a big family when they grow up. They were upfront with me and Sil about wanting a lot of kids from our early days of dating. Sil and Bill are starting to try for their first kid, and Sil has been leaning on me for emotional support, which I am very glad to provide. Last Sunday, she asked me to be brutally honest about what it's like to have 6 kids. I told her that my experience will not be very helpful to her, seeing as how our situations are very different, and she asked me to explain. So I told her that I am a stay-at-home mother-wife with a passive income in the high 6 figures, my husband makes over $300K a year, so we are lucky enough to not have to think about the financials when it comes to a large family. Same goes with child care. I have 2 nannies, that is the only way I found to be able to give all my kids the attention they need, seeing as my youngest has health issues. And that even without those health issues, 6 kids are a lot of work without someone there. And finally, my husband and I were looking into adoption and surrogacy because pregnancy is hard on the body, so 3 was my limit of pregnancies, and that we were lucky that we were able to foster to adopt our 3 adoptive kids. But if we didn't, adopting 3 extra kids, or hiring surrogates was going to be very expensive. Well, apparently she talked with Bill, and told him what I said, as well as how they should maybe space having kids more, so they could give them a higher living standards, and now he is accusing me of manipulating her, and being a jealous bitch who wants to be the only one with the big family. Was I an R by telling her everything I did? Not the asshole. You told her the truth instead of the rose-tinted version Bill would have preferred you told her. Now he is accusing me of manipulating her, and being a jealous bitch who wants to be the only one with the big family. Why doesn't he want high living standards for his kids? Not the asshole. Your Bill very well know that what you said was true, and it must hurt to know that his big family plan will probably not work because of their life choice and lack of money. They are just shooting the messenger. Not the asshole. Normally telling people about your wealth isn't the best idea, but in this case, having such a high income is how you managed to have 6 kids, and you were right to be upfront about it. Not the asshole. You served her straight facts. If the husband doesn't like it, oh well, that's just how the world goes. Not the asshole. You answered her question honestly, and sometimes that means sharing info they either may not have expected or was hoping not to be the case. But still asked for your opinion and about your experiences for a reason. Not the asshole. She asked, you answered, that's it. If he wants a fairy tale he needs to visit a bookstore. Nope. I'm guessing Bill still isn't financially as stable as you and not able to afford nannies? Bill needs to grow the F up. I'm guessing he's not the one staying home and raising the kids? Not realize the hard work it takes to raise kids? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She asked for brutal honesty, and you gave just that. Doesn't sound like there was any malice or jealousy attached to it. Why would you be jealous? Lol. Absolutely nothing wrong with what you said. I have 4 children. It's an obscene amount of work. Being honest about how expensive time-consuming it is not manipulative. People with 0 kids always think they would be the perfect parent, that it's all just so easy. A reality check is nothing more than a courtesy. Info. Why do they think having a big family will compensate for their neglectful childhood? You are absolutely right about one thing. The only way you can provide any proper attention to any of the kids is if you have lots of help. Not the asshole. I am one of 6 kids with a stepdad who made about $100,000 a year. My mom also homeschooled us. Our standard of living was low. Fights about money were constant, and not all of the children got the care and attention they needed with a mother who also volunteered full-time. I have mental illness and one of my brothers is likely autistic. We did not get the care we needed and it still affects us. People should not have that many kids without the proper income and or support. Not the asshole. She asked, you answered. He's upset with the answer and he has every right to be, but that doesn't make you an R. She should ask other parents of big families or even small families. Everyone has what does and does not work for them. Your answer doesn't need to dictate her life. If she uses it to guide their decisions, then it's her choice, not yours. Not the asshole. Kids are expensive. Kids require a lot of your time. Kids require emotional support. Kids will wreck the body during pregnancy. Nothing you said was wrong. You warned her of the truth. She didn't say to not have a big family. She only wanted to space the kids out more and plan it. If I may ask, what do you do that pays you so well? It's great that your Bill thinks his opinion of what a woman goes is more important than an actual women's perspective. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Mothers need to be more honest with future moms about what motherhood entails. I'd be grateful for your honesty. Not the asshole. You were realistic. 6 kids is a lot, and the fact that you can afford to hire help and don't have to worry financially about feeding, clothing, providing medical care, etc. for that many people is all very significant in choosing to have a big family. It sounds like she either twisted what you said when she went back to relay your conversation to her husband, or he took it wrong and somehow deduced you were being manipulative. They should be practical and prepared, and it sounds like you were just trying to help and he got his back up. That's his problem, not yours. Nata. Tell your Bill to knock that shit down. Having children isn't a fucking collection. Bill didn't think about the logistics and is upset someone spoke truthfully. Motherhood is often romanticized, idealized. The reality is that there are challenges, and often the brunt of the work, financial loss and/or career delay falls on the female. Hello there, patriarchy. Not the asshole for answering truthfully to your Sil as she requested that. How old is Sil? If I understood correctly, she's still not against a large family, but against having the kids in quick succession to avoid financial strain? If she's young and hopefully healthy, I think it can be done. Not the asshole. I have 5 kids. My wife is a stay-at-home mother and I make a decent living for where we live. We are a blended family, but labels don't matter to us. We get by, but it's hard. I call it controlled chaos. I always feel guilty I can't give each kid the individual time they need. I love my kids to death and wouldn't trade it for anything, but it's not for everyone. I have given heads up to other parents before. It was always my dream to have a big family, but it's not for everyone. It would be way too easy to get in over your head. Not the asshole. Bill does not want to know the details, but he needs them. Good your Sil seems to listen and make her mind up these things. Anyone find it odd that these men raised by very neglectful parents want bunches of children? As in, more children than 2 working adults can reasonably be expected to give much individual attention. OP states she couldn't do it if she wasn't sharp with multiple hired help. Which, fair, sounds like the kids are likely getting their needs met. But, and I don't want to speculate too much, how much time does OP's husband spend on the kids? Is he not just raising another generation of kids with a distant parent? So, he wants to be surrounded by a big family, but what do his kids want? Just strikes me as selfish. Not the asshole. People who have kids they can't afford are ours. Your Sil does not want 6 kids. She has already decided that. She came to you for backup and is too afraid to tell her husband. Can't imagine why based on how he's reacting, and call you the bitch. Not the asshole. This is for them to sort out. Stay out of it going forward. Am I the asshole? For giving my son non-vegan food behind my wife's back. I am, and my wife is 33F. We have been married for 8 years and have a 12-year son together. About 6 years ago, my wife decided to go vegan. She was sent the documentary Dominion by a vegan friend of hers, and ever since has said non-vegan food is revolting and refuses to eat it. After a long conversation I agreed to go vegetarian and be vegan in the house and around her, which she was happy with. She also decided our son should be vegan, which after seeing a dietitian I also agreed with. Things have been fine with this arrangement until a few months ago, when I began finding wrappers from non-vegan candy and even burgers from McDonald's in my son's school bag, which he had been buying with chore money. I had a conversation with my son and he confessed he felt lonely and excluded eating vegan around his friends and that they always had much better candy than he did and it wasn't fair. I decided I didn't want him spending his pocket money on snacks and throwing out the vegan snacks we actually brought him instead of buying games etc. It made no sense, but I also know the way my wife feels about non-vegan products. So, I began buying my son what he wanted on our way to football practice instead. Long story short, my wife recently found out what has been going on and completely flipped out. She called me an animal abuse enabler and a few other names and said I was corrupting our son. Now she is not speaking to me. Our son panicked and told her I had bought the snacks for him and he didn't know they weren't vegan. I don't blame him for that, he just doesn't want to be in trouble with mom. Am I the asshole here? Not the asshole. I think my answer, at this point, would be, our son is old enough to decide what he wants to eat and what his dietary preferences are. If we put him into a situation where he feels he has to hide things from us, that's on us. If your wife is confronting him about this in any kind of intimidating way or trying to make him feel guilty with the same phrases she's using with you, I would prioritize your son and his needs and well-being. Shit like this can cause a lot of problems. As a vegan, not the asshole. We humans are designed to eat meat. It's a perfectly normal thing for our bodies to do. In fact, I'm the abnormal one not eating meat. I'm old enough to have made that choice and I'm happy your son shouldn't have it forced upon him at such a young age, when building bonds is so important. His body, his choice and you're doing nothing wrong supporting him. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Going vegan is a choice. She did not give you or your son a choice about your dietary preferences. Of course your kid will go behind her back. I would too. It's really not her decision. I'm surprised you aren't sneaking off with your son for burgers. Not the asshole, but you need to push back. Your wife doesn't get to decide that the whole family has to be vegan. Your son is